If you're on a good thing, stick to it, is the philosophy of many racegoers. It worked for Rough Habit, where smart punters were on board for many of his 29 wins. It also applied to Rough Habit's performances in Australia. Ruffy loved the Sunshine State, where he claimed 6 of his 11 Group 1 victories in a career that made him a hero on both sides of the Tasman. By rough cast from Certain Habit, the lightly built bay was bred in Hawke's Bay by Isabel Roddick. She took up a long-standing offer from Taranaki trainer John Wheeler to one day train a horse she felt had potential.
He's on the walker.
The Hall of Famer wasn't impressed, as Ruffy seemed to lack motivation around the paddock. It took a couple of races to reveal the hidden strengths and the desire to win on race day. The nondescript horse made a promising start with 6 wins and 2 seconds in the first 8 races.
Fair Spirit, the leader, the pulverizer coming after it, so is Political and Sir Oakridge, but it's Fair Spirit in front. Here's Sir Oakridge and the pulverizer and Political and Rough Habit the inside. Fair Spirit holding and getting up on the inside was Rough Habit. That might have got there very close. Rough Habit, Fair Spirit. And
an indication of the motor within came when Ruffy recorded 3 good wins within 7 days. Wheeler saw the potential and decided to freshen the 3-year-old for a crack at the 1990 Brisbane Carnival. A fast finish for second in the Doomben Cup was just the tune-up Ruffy needed for the Queensland Derby.
Rough Habit, he's kicked again on the inside. 150 to go. Rough Habit drew away from Ray's Hope. He's a length in front of Ray's Hope. Castletown into 3rd place. It's going to be an all-Kiwi finish, and Rough Habit's going to win the Derby. Rough Habit first, Ray's Hope second, Castletown 3rd, then Silver Eskimo.
It was the start of a golden run as Ruffy and Wheeler returned in the following seasons to take ownership of the Doomben Cup and the Stradbroke Handicap, Queensland's richest sprint. His cavalier style of victory won the hearts of all race fans. Rough Habit's memorable run from last at the turn to win the 1992 Stradbroke made him a legend.
The Rossa boys hit the lead. Look at Rough Habit. Rough Habit's flying on the rails. Rough Habit moved up, grabbed the lead, and he's won the Stradbroke. What a performance. Rough Habit first.
Another Doomben Cup was added 2 weeks later. It was a career highlight for Wheeler and all the connections, as only one other horse had done the Stradbroke Doomben double. Those wins and Group 1 victories earlier in the season at Trentham and a Sydney double saw Rough Habit honoured in New Zealand and on the Gold Coast as the Horse of the Year. A change to the racing schedule made it virtually impossible for Ruffy to grab a unique Queensland trifecta. Instead, he had to settle for a 3rd Doomben Cup.
Rough Habit takes the lead. Jimmy Cassidy, Rough Habit, 3 Doomben Cups in succession. What a horse! Rough Habit has got up.
The next destination for a star like Rough Habit was the Hollywood Gold Cup in California. He was used to travelling and would eventually cross the Tasman 17 times, but couldn't adapt to the dirt track in time. Much of the 7-year-old season was lost to injury. Another irritation for the Rough Habit crew was the inability to impress Melbourne fans, despite an earlier win in the Maya Stakes in '92.
Past the 200-metre mark and
the Victorians finally saw the true champion in action in the Group 1 Caulfield Stakes in 1994, as Rough Habit eclipsed a class field that included the Phantom Chance.
Rough Habit, a huge run.
It's fitting that Rough Habit's last race in Australia in 1995 was in Queensland, and there was hardly a dry eye as the People's Horse went out a winner.
Here he comes. Here comes Rough Habit, the old Kiwi warhorse. You little beauty, keep him going, Shane. Rough Habit is racing away to win the O'Shea Stakes. What a win!
The curtain came down on a magnificent career in New Zealand 2 months later when Rough Habit's leg problem flared again. The 29 race wins were over distances from 1,200 to 2,400 metres. His 11 Group 1 wins and multi-million-dollar stakes earnings were New Zealand records at the time. The champion didn't fade from public view. Rough Habit's legendary status and gentle manner made him a natural star for the New Zealand Horse Magic Show at Cambridge. And the Brisbane Racing Club made sure Australians will never forget his deeds. They inducted Rough Habit into the Queensland Hall of Fame and named an annual 3-year-olds race at Doomben the Rough Habit Plate.